What's good? What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Ferris Muthana, and welcome to a special episode of Good Friends, Better Rivals. Special because we're an hour later because of some unforeseen circumstances. I was sick.
Yeah.
All right, I'm a little bit better. So there's that. But without further ado, we're gonna talk American football. It is Giants, Cowboys, week. Whatever. Caleb, shut up. All right. We have a soccer show or football. You know what? You know what?
That's why
I'm not in the I'm not you know what? I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood.
You literally just said it. But you just
I don't care no more. I stopped caring 5 seconds ago. Okay. Whatever. Football. We're talking football. We're talking week what? Week 4? Week 4?
Week 5. Or
week 5.
We're talking week 4 and 5. We're talking both.
Week 4 and 5. You know, week 4 and 5. So there's that. I'm with my main man Caleb. We're gonna break it down, but before we're gonna break it down, you know, we're on a Friday. Thursday night football happened yesterday. The Chicago Bears came out firing, took out the Washington Commanders. DJ Moore had a great game. Showed up. I believe it was 8 catches. Was it how long? Oh, I need to double check because someone had this crazy stat, but I need to double check. On it.
Yeah, like 8 catches, 200.
Yeah, it was 8 catches, right? It was 8. Yards. Yeah, it was 8 catches.
Yeah, and 3 touchdowns.
230 yards, 3 touchdowns, 28 yards per catch. So there's that. The Bears dropping 40 on the Commanders, who the previous week, fought the Eagles to an overtime game. So that's the thing about the NFL, man.
Yeah.
Is any given Sunday, or in this case, any given Thursday. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like,
they were the road team on Thursday night, so that's what makes it even crazier.
Yeah, because in the Commanders really didn't have to go far. They had to fly. They had to go to Philly, and they had to come back home. It's not that the travel wasn't like egregious. There's sometimes the like Philly back in the day would take the train up to New York, you know, and then the Giants would take the train down to Philly. Like travel between those teams is literally non-existent if you think about it. You take the train down DC, or in this case, Landover, Maryland. So traveling amongst those 3 teams are like traveling doesn't matter. They're not taking planes. They usually don't. So the traveling is not an excuse. They came out and got mollywopped by the Chicago Bears. And watching the Bears game made it seem like, yep, the New York Giants are the worst team in the entire NFL. Yep, they are. I used to think, no, the Bears are worse than us. Like they're worse. No, they're not. They're not. The Bears are better.
Yeah.
We were against the Bears. The Bears are going to beat us. Like, we're not a good team. And we're not a good team. You know what? Let's get right into it. The Giants, there's nothing really much to talk about Thursday Night Football. Justin Fields showing up, showing out. He had a great game last week against the Denver Broncos. A lot of people are realizing that, yeah, he had a fumble. He made a mistake in that game. And then when he made that mistake, the coaches took it out of his hands and said, you're not going to lose me this game. And they went conservative, and the Broncos came back and beat them. But that's the thing, man. When your star quarterback makes one mistake, you know, it's fine. Still give him the ball. Patrick Mahomes threw like 2 ducks against the Jets. Horrible interceptions, Caleb. You can agree with me. Right? They were horrible, right?
Yeah.
And you know what Andy Reid did? He said, the ball's still in your court, dog. Go make a play. I'm not taking
you trust him. Well,
yeah.
I mean, there's no reason why not to trust him.
Exactly. And my thing is this, you know, sometimes with young QBs, you sometimes just got to trust them to trust them. You know, just be like, go because you give them the confidence, right? You know, you can't be like, all right, no, give it back to me. No, you stink. You got to be like, you know what? You made a mistake. Hey, let's keep balling. And you know what? You build the confidence, you keep it going, and then you drop 40 points on the Commanders. Commanders are a good team.
I think everybody who's playing against DJ Moore in fantasy is feeling like I am today.
Yep.
It's not good.
Adelia said DJ Moore gave me.
I don't know how you just lose on Thursday night. You basically just lost the game on Thursday Night Football.
It happens. It happens, Caleb getting beat down back-to-back weeks by his LGRN compatriots. I whooped his behind last week, and now Adelia is whooping his behind.
It's not the fantasy football show. We can talk about that later.
Okay. He a little heated. But let's get right into it, right? We usually go Cowboys first, but forget that. Let me get my.
Oh, you just want to get right into it.
I just want to get right into it. The Cowboys did something historically great for them and historically bad for Bill Belichick. But let's get right into this Giants game. The Giants suck. They suck.
Finally, you realize that.
They suck, dude. I'm sorry, because I'm watching this Monday night game and I'm like, okay, now here's the thing too, man. The defense played great. We were in the game. The defense was in the game. The defense was cooking. And the problem with the defense is, I'll talk about it real quick because
you did hurt Geno Smith for a little bit, and that kind of helped the defense out.
Well, no, before that, no. The thing is, our tackling was still bad. Our tackling was still horrible. That's the key. The tackling was still absolutely good. Like I tweeted out this GIF where it's our expectations were low, but holy bleep. Like this is horrible. Like Azeez Ojulari and Kayvon Thibodeau, they would get there. And you're like, this is a sack. And they wouldn't finish. Geno would spin out. They would try to grab an arm. They would try to grab, no, stop arm tackling. Stop that. Hit him. You know what I mean? Grab his body. Geno Smith didn't play good. Yeah, he had a couple good plays here and there, but our defense was getting there. But then we would just bail them out with our awful tackling. Just straight awful tackling.
Especially on the long pass, on the side.
Yes.
That was horrible.
Horrible tackling. Dude, don't even get me started. They are lucky that Kenneth Walker, his cheek hit the ground. You know what I mean? They're lucky. Because that's a touchdown. And people, because, dude, I swear to God, if Kenneth Walker was given that touchdown, I'm like, of course. Of course. Of course he was given that touchdown. But just bad tackling. Bad tackling from Bobby Okereke. And I'm like, bro, we signed you. We gave you $60 million. $60 million. And you can't tackle? What's going on here? And then that's the one negative of the defense. Overall, they played a very good game. They kept them in the game. Kayvon Thibodeau showed up, has 2 sacks. 2 sacks. Amazing. Because he realized this offensive line is not there. They lost 2 guards in the game. They had to move one of their centers to guard. They didn't have their starting tackles. So the defensive line knew this and they took advantage of it. So this is why now when I'm talking about the other side of the ball, there was no excuse. We can't talk about the bad Giants offensive line. We can't, because literally the team we were against didn't have their starting tackles. Had lost 2 of their guards in the game, and also had and then had another guard injured before the game. They had to move their center to guard, so they had a new center, and their center was at guard, and they had another guard. The team, the offensive line was not the starting offensive line, and their offense looked kind of good on certain plays. The Giants didn't know what the hell they were doing. Daniel Jones had completely stopped caring. He didn't know. So so people were like, that interception with Devin Witherspoon. Devin Witherspoon had a great game, but he had a great game because the offense didn't know how to guard him, because you motion the man from his side to see if it's man or zone. So you motioned him. Devin Witherspoon stays. It's zone. But then Devin Witherspoon then creeps up. Blitz. And guess what happens? He gets a sack.
Yeah.
No one touches him. No one breathes on him. No one decides to check his card. No one does nothing. He just lays out Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones was bailing out of the pocket too quickly. He didn't have a good game. The offensive line didn't have a good game. Because here's the thing too. People talk about, the offensive line sucked. You can't blame Daniel.
It was 11 sacks.
But here's the thing. 5 of those sacks was after he threw that horrible interception where the game was already out of hand and we had to pass the ball. So those 5, I'm okay.
Those 5, those casual 5.
That was they were his, like the first couple were his fault. Also too.
Well, that's what. Well, I mean, do you think? I mean, these offensive line just sitting here saying we're playing this bum $160 million to quarterback and play behind us. Screw that. This guy sucks. We're just gonna let him get killed, and we're just gonna say, "Oh, there you go," like hurt his ass because we need someone else back there.
Well, y'all weren't saying this last year. Y'all were saying that last year. Look, why are you pocket watching? Who cares about how much money the person you pocket watching?
Well, he wouldn't get paid last year. That's why.
Also, because he got money, you mad? How about this?
Because he sucks.
Well, the offensive line also sucks. People think it's just him. They both suck. That's the thing. They can both be true. You guys both suck. Evan Neal sucked.
They both do suck.
Yeah, Evan Neal sucked. Our guard
Evan Neal is on a rookie deal. Deion Jones got $160 million.
But he sucks. You're not gonna get no second contract. You're not getting a second contract. You guys both stink. Caleb, it's basically saying it's like if somebody's dog shit and you're like, you're dog shit, but you're horse shit. Y'all both shit. It's 2 shits calling each other shit. That's really funny. It's ironic. One shit is calling the other one shit, but the other shit is like, you're shit too. You're both shit.
One shit is getting paid $160 million.
You're both shit.
But one shit's getting paid more.
But who cares? You're both shit. The money doesn't matter. You're both shit.
It does matter. It does matter because we could have spent that on someone else. We could have spent that on anybody else. You could give Saquon Barkley a deal. You could have gave another quarterback a deal. You literally could have spent the money on anything else.
But here's the problem.
Jones, and it would have been a better decision. And you would have had the same. You could have lost this many games with any quarterback.
I think this is what they should have done.
$160 million for it.
I think this is what they should have done, Caleb. I think this is what they should have done last year. You remember in Buffalo, they had Tyrod Taylor. He brought them to the playoffs, right? You remember that? And then the following year, they didn't re-sign Tyrod Taylor. They didn't re-sign him. And they went and they got Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I thought that's what they were going to do. I thought that's what they were going to do because Joe Shane came.
That's my whole point. It's like you could have just, it doesn't matter what you do. You should have done something else. You should have known this guy sucked.
Yeah.
When his best year is throwing 15 touchdowns. Like,
they needed Saquon Barkley, man. They needed Saquon Barkley.
Okay, then why didn't you pay him? Why didn't you pay him? Why didn't you give him?
Why are you talking to me? I wanted to pay him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you specifically. I'm saying the Giants. Like it's stupid. That's the only reason why I bring up the money is because you could have put that into something else. That's why you bring up money because they could have been given to a better player that's going to produce.
I'm with you. But I think, man, like we're not good. The offensive line doesn't care for him. You're right, Caleb. Because there was one time he got sacked, and Evan Neal is watching him on the ground, and Evan Neal doesn't even go pick him up. No one picks him up. No one cared about him. He got sacked, and people just kept moving on. Juxtapose where the Raiders player takes out Justin Herbert on the sideline, and the entire team jumps Jerry Tillery. The entire team jumps Jerry Tillery. You saw that in the Chargers game, the Chargers-Raiders game, where he hits Justin Herbert out of bounds. The entire Chargers team, offense, defense, run after Jerry Tillery. And like you see Chargers players punching Jerry Tillery. Punching him. You can't go pick up your quarterback after you got sacked? It's because you don't care about your quarterback. You don't care about him. You don't. He's mentally broken. His internal clock is out of whack. He's bailing out of good pockets, not great pockets, good pockets too fast. And when you're on the scramble, people be like, people ask this question, are the receivers open? Are the receivers open? And then all you do is you watch all 22 the following day, and you realize, yes, they were open. Wan'Dale Robinson. So homie scrambles out. Wan'Dale Robinson is wide open. If he throws it when he's scrambling, that's like a 15-yard completion to Wan'Dale Robinson. Then someone was like, oh, but the safety was coming down. No, you saw the safety come down when he's already out of bounds on the rush. He waited too long to pass it to Wan'Dale. But if you pass it to Wan'Dale a little bit earlier, it's a completion. And Wan'Dale gets a catch. And Wan'Dale Robinson, he's coming back slowly but surely. I'm a big fan of Wan'Dale Robinson. The man had 93 catches in the SEC, Caleb, at 5'8". That's special. 5'8", you get 93 catches in the SEC. That's insane. He's a player. He's smooth. He's wide open.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's all Daniel Jones' fault that he sucks or he's like messed up in the head or whatever. I mean, the Giants created that problem when they couldn't put a offensive line together for the past 10 years.
Yes.
I mean, that's on them. And then you get him killed every single season. And yeah, of course, it's going to ruin.
He's ready to run. He's ready to run every time. He runs away. And I'm with you, Caleb, on that one, man. Daniel Jones is average. It's fine. He's a player who needs.
But you can put him in a better situation.
Exactly. I think he succeeds.
Garbage off the line.
Exactly. Like that's the thing with Kirk Cousins. The man is in a good situation. Offensive line's a little decent, and he has Jets on the outside. And Kirk Cousins puts on good numbers. He puts good numbers. Daniel's a quarterback who needs everything perfect around him to be successful. Then there's the quarterbacks who not everything needs to be perfect. You don't have to have great receivers. You don't have to have you need to have semi-good offensive lines, and you're good. Lamar Jackson's that quarterback. Lamar Jackson's receiving core has been the worst receiving core since he got in the NFL. He didn't need top tier receiving core to be successful. You need one to win Super Bowls, and that's what the Ravens have done now. They've realized, like, hey, we need to give Lamar some pass catching threats. But he's won an MVP with that team, and you're like, hey, this team, Mark Andrews is his best receiver. That's crazy. Patrick Mahomes, the receiving core for the Chiefs. What is it? Well, what is it? Last year it was fine. It was Juju Smith-Schuster was his number one receiver. They have Travis Kelce. That's true. But the receivers, it's Juju. It's Mark.
The receivers. Just talking about the receivers.
Yeah, just no receivers.
Not good.
Joe Burrow, he has the receivers. Offensive line is nothing. You know what I mean? But they made the Super Bowl. The offensive line bit them in the ass in the end, but still he got there. Daniel Jones isn't that quarterback. He ain't that quarterback. He's not that quarterback. You need Tom Brady. Tom Brady had one thing that was perfect his entire career. One thing. And that was his offensive line.
Yeah.
The receivers, you're like, how about the receivers? Danny Amendola, Chris Hogan, Deion Branch, Julian Edelman.
It didn't really matter because if you have the time, you can find someone open.
Exactly. Offensive line is the key. It's the key. They suck. Daniel Jones didn't play well because there was times where the pocket was nice, and he sucked. They both suck. They both sucked last night or Monday. They weren't very good at all. They were horrible. But that interception was all his fault.
Yeah.
He stares down Paris Campbell. Stares him down. I could have made that interception. You could have made that interception. My brother could have made that interception. Your dad could have made that interception. Adelia could have made that interception.
You just give
everybody
in the chat.
Yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. Everybody in the chat could have made that interception. But what was egregious is Darren Waller was wide open in the back of the end zone. He was wide open.
He was open. He was wide open.
Wide open. Dude, you know how you've messed up? When your coach is showing you on the iPad, what the hell is wrong with you? And you just don't care, and he chucks the iPad at you.
He bought him a new one.
Chucks it at him.
New one the next day.
Yeah. I'm not a lip reader, but all I'll say is this. There weren't some funny words. There weren't some fun words being said to Daniel Jones that day.
No.
He wasn't good. He needs perfection around him to be successful. Some quarterbacks don't need perfection. Because Geno Smith had backup guards, his centers playing guard, his tackles weren't there, and he still played better. So I'm saying, like, don't give me this, all the offensive line. The Seahawks offensive line, Troy Aikman and Joe Buck kept talking about how they've lost, Houston's offensive line. CJ Stroud's a rookie. They had 8 offensive linemen who were hurt. 8 offensive linemen, Caleb. Name me someone on the Houston offensive line not named Laramie Tunsil.
That's the only one I can name.
Exactly. You don't know who these dudes are. They were all injured. And you know what CJ Stroud did? A rookie who isn't in the NFL for more than a year. You know what he did that day? He got a victory. He had 2 touchdown passes, and he had over 300 passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling me, what about, the receiving core? So you're telling me his receiving core of Nico Collins, a rookie in Tank Dell, and Robert Woods are better than our receiving core of Darren Waller, Isaiah Hodgins, Darius Slayton, Jalen Hyatt, Sterling Shepard, and Paris Campbell.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think so.
Well, that's your opinion. My point is this. This offensive line excuse doesn't look good when you have rookies with offensive linemen who are out, 8 of them. Some of them are out for the season. When a rookie's doing this behind a bad offensive line, when the person you're against on Monday Night Football, the other quarterback, the announcers and everyone's like, their starting tackles are not here. They're down 2 guards. One of their guards already is gone out of the game. Their center has to now play guard because their other guard got injured. That offensive line excuse doesn't age well, doesn't look good. When you can have examples of, like, look at this shit offensive line and look what this quarterback's been doing behind it. All you need is a couple of examples to debunk that excuse. And it's not even like, I'm not even using the Joe Burrow example of him getting sacked 9 times in a playoff game and him winning. Like, forget that example. Joe Burrow is special. I'm using the other 2 examples of, like, we have the rookie who's a rookie, and we have your opponent that day with bad offensive lines, and they both play better than you. And what the thing is, you were still in the game. You were still in the game. But then you throw that horrible interception and you ruin the game. And you're done. That's your fault. Because here's the thing, too. On that interception pass, Caleb, the pocket was clean. But you stared down Paris Campbell. Stop passing it to Paris Campbell. Stop it. Someone's wide open. You scrambled and you have a receiver running wide open across the field. You're standing in the pocket. It's a clean pocket, and you stare down your receiver. You throw in a 90 some odd interception return for a touchdown. When you know Darren Waller is wide open. Dayball's promised more workload for Darren Waller. You can promise all you want. If your quarterback ain't gonna throw him the ball, what's the point? The offensive line sucked. That's true. You sucked too, Daniel Jones. You weren't very good. And your offensive line, like, my offensive line. Well, how about CJ Stroud, a rookie who's only been in the NFL for 4 games, has a horrible offensive line, throwing for 300 yards and 2 touchdown passes in a victory. He beats the Steelers. The Steelers with TJ Watt. TJ Watt should have been feasting on that offensive line, correct?
Probably. They fix the most.
Texans win. The Texans won. The Texans beat the Steelers. So, think about this contract, right? It's not really team friendly because we're going to end up giving him $80 million. But there's an opt-out after 2 years. But you wasted $80 million on 2 years.
You wasted that.
It's not team friendly, but the opt-out is very friendly to you.
And you still get a quarterback in this draft and still pay him that money.
Yeah.
So it's still, you think that's the plan?
The thing is, man, we're 1-4.
Yeah.
Um, the Bears look better than us, so the Bears may win another game this year.
Yeah, but they have the Panthers pick.
Oh yeah, it's true. It's true. Panthers haven't won a game either.
Yeah. So they could have that number 1 pick.
You're right. So we're either gonna settle for Drake May or Caleb Williams, basically. If it's that bad. But then the problem is Daniel Jones gonna win you a game you shouldn't win. You know? Jay, the Panthers fan, we will, Ferris. So they're gonna win a couple games. So hey, I need you to win a couple games. And then Rogue Puck says, "Calm down, Giants fan." I'm not gonna calm down. Give me Caleb Williams.
Yeah, you're gonna need something. You need a
Bro,
quarterback.
we signed Justin Pugh, and I'm like, bro, what the hell is Justin Pugh gonna do? The man's like in his mid-30s, hasn't played football in a year and a half. You think he's gonna fix this offensive line? The man is over 30 and hasn't played football in a year and a half, bro. And then they're like,
Yeah, that's the thing. Even if you do get a quarterback, I mean, you haven't shown that you can really build an offensive line at all. So even if you do get a quarterback, I mean, how the hell are you going to protect that guy?
that's what I'm saying. Ben Jones is people like, oh, we worked out this tackle DeMarco Jones, who was cut from the Tennessee training camp because he kept fighting people. I'm like, okay, good. An offensive lineman that fights, I'm cool with that. Then we got Ben Jones, Lael Collins are out there. Lael Collins got cut because he has a bad knee. I don't want that. No offense. The man got cut because his knee is shot. Why would I want that? I don't know, man. I'd rather play Russian roulette, Caleb, with 6 bullets than watch this Giants team again.
Yeah. It's crazy because you said there was like a lack of caring on the field, and I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought they were going to put everything they had. I thought they were going to play with some desperation, kind of like what the Bears looked like last night.
Thursday.
You look like their season's over, and they played with some desperation. That's what they came out rolling. I kind of thought that's what was going to happen, and yeah, I was completely wrong. Yeah, just the same like non-caring, and
they don't care.
Butts kicked.
They don't care. They don't care about Daniel Jones. They don't care. And they don't care, man, at all.
Yeah, now you guys play the Dolphins
and the Bills back to back
on the road.
On the road. And I think the Bills game's in prime time.
Oh, stop putting the Giants on prime time.
Well, that's what happens when you're the Giants. You have a good season the previous year. The next year on prime time, 5 games because the fan base is gonna watch. Yeah. So let's talk about historical victories in Dallas. Dallas Cowboys gave Bill Belichick his worst loss in over 20 years.
Yes.
They beat him down by 35. Was it 38?
Yeah, 35, 38-3.
38-3. The Bill Belichick was extremely disgusted by Mac Jones, not Daniel Jones. You know what? Both of them. He's probably disgusted by both of them.
Bad day for Joneses.
Bad days for Joneses. He benches him for Bailey Zappi, but that really didn't matter because the Cowboys kept whooping their behind. Caleb, take me through it.
Yeah, a great bounce back win after an completely embarrassing loss to the Arizona Cardinals. But it's a great way to come back and really prove what this team is, and that is given these dominant performances over inferior teams. We've shown that we could do that 3 times this season. We just didn't show up against the Cardinals, and we should have had that 4th one. But yeah, it's a great for the defense bouncing back from getting run all over by the Cards, and then coming this week and really just stopping that Patriots rush attack, which is a major part of their offense. and everybody was talking about how Zeke was going to come in there and have a great game, and he was going to get all these carries. Yeah, that didn't happen. Especially they showed the Zeke tribute video on the big screen, and they gave all that praise to Zeke, and he only had 6 carries and 16 yards, and it was not a good day for him. They kept showing him. They showed him like all throughout the game, and he wasn't doing anything. So yeah, that was funny. And then then we just stopped their team as a rushing. They only ran for 53 yards. So yeah, it's great way to bounce back after the bad game against the Cards for the defense. But the biggest story on the defense was DaRon Bland. I mean, obviously we have the injury to Trayvon Diggs for the year, and we need someone to step up, next man up. Guess what? DaRon Bland is that next man, and he has been looking great since he started. 2 interceptions, got the pick 6. Should have had a third one. He dropped the pass on that one.
DaRon Bland, he's Fresno State product. This is for you.
Yeah. We'll say one thing right now.
Yeah, and DaRon Bland, he's making plays since he got here, man. Since the start of 2022, he's led the league in interceptions. He led the team in interceptions last year. He's been balling out since they put him in there. He's been great, and honestly, I kind of think he's almost or maybe just as good as Trayvon Diggs, to be honest, because that's kind of type of playmaking ability he's shown to have. Like, he gets picks.
Was it a quiet game for Micah Parsons? I feel like it was a quiet game.
No, it was not at all. Like I said last week, what his effect does, it just doesn't show up on the stat sheet. He was after Mac Jones all day. Like, he had him on the run, and those 2 picks were because of Micah Parsons chasing his ass down, and he just throws away because he doesn't want to get hit by Micah Parsons. And that's the kind of effect I have. Like, sometimes the sack, sometimes the pressure that he gets, because he's getting more pressures than anybody else in the league. And sometimes that pressure against quarterbacks who are bad against pressure, it's honestly better than the sack because it causes the turnover.
They're going to throw away the ball.
Yeah. And it could throw an interception. So honestly, that turnover is kind of better than even him getting the sack. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
That's not happening,
like
Jay.
They
don't let Micah Parsons stay on the side of great tackles because he can't do nothing against them.
He's been lined up on the center. He's been lined up. He's been lined up everywhere pretty much.
Yeah, because he knows when he goes up as a great tackle, he doesn't really do much. So they kind of move him away from those tackles and keep him on the weaker side of the tackle, which is a good defensive decision. It's a great scheme. So he's not going to be on Trent Williams' side ever, which is okay, because that's what you want. You want your best player to take advantage of the weakest offensive lineman, and the weakest offensive lineman is the right side tackle, or in his case, also the guards. You're not going to put Michael Parsons on Trent Williams' side. Trent Williams wants him to stay there, so Trent Williams can impose his will on him. But Dan Quinn isn't. He's like, I'm not stupid. Your right tackle's worse. Go over there, and I'll sacrifice Dexter Lawrence like I always do.
Lawrence.
Yeah. So Dexter
Lawrence.
Marcus Lawrence
sacrifice. Sorry. Yeah. He does get kind of the best tackle all the time.
Yeah.
But he still makes plays. Like, even with that, he still makes his plays. He still gets in there. Definitely good. One of the best run stoppers on the defensive line. But it's not just them two. You see Dante Fowler come in this game. He gets a sack fumble against Mac Jones. Great play, Dante Fowler. You have Sam Williams. You have Norris Ostroud get in there. It's not just them two. Multiple pass rushers on this team.
Shut up, Jay.
That's what.
When you say Dexter, when you say Lawrence, I think Dexter. What do you want from me? He's the only good thing about that defense. The only good thing. He always shows up. Always. And the problem is he plays defensive tackle. No, he plays defensive tackle, right? So you look at the stats, you're like, oh, did Dexter Lawrence do anything? Yeah, he did. But he plays defensive tackle. He's collapsing the pocket so that the defensive ends try to get the sack, but they're not getting sacks. So Dexter Lawrence is like, motherfucker, what the hell y'all do? I'm helping you. I'm helping you. But don't even get me started on Jahal Ward. Don't even get me started. This is the Cowboys segment. This is the Cowboys segment. Yeah. Continue. The Cowboys. Do you think?
Speaking of defensive tackles, I was really impressed with our defensive tackle, our interior defensive linemen, because obviously we came off the Cards game where they were just getting run off. There was no push. I mean, that's what we have in the previous game. We just had no push in that interior part of the defense. I felt like we did get that. I felt like there was a lot of penetration, and that's why it helped us, pretty much stonewall that rushing attack that they had, because I really thought they were getting in there pretty quickly and stopping the run there. So I was really impressed with all those guys in the middle, whether it's Gallimore, Odigizua, or all them guys. That's what has changed, because I haven't been seeing that in the first part of the season, and then I definitely saw it in this game, and I was like, oh yeah, that was great penetration there. So really like seeing that. And then on the other side of on the offensive side, just consistent the way we've been playing and with the play calls, just getting the ball out of Dak's hands. Dak's had a very efficient game, 28 34 of 34, 261 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions. And that's the biggest part. Everybody wants to get him after him because of the interceptions, and he's been protecting the ball. He only has one interception this season, and he's been taking care of the ball, and that's what we'd like to see. And the main thing and that we've been doing is going up and down the field on all the teams. In every game, we have moved the ball at will, pretty much. The thing is, once we get into that red zone, I don't know what happens. They just become I don't know. They just don't know what to do. They just start stumbling around each other, and they just can't execute a play. And that's why and everybody's gonna say it's play calling. I don't think it is, because it's just bad execution once we get into the red zone, because we had the touchdown. Luke Schoonmaker drops a touchdown. He has it right in his hand, just drops it. That's not play call, because the play call was good. He had the touchdown. He drops it. We have Cooks wide open. We can't get it to him. We have Dak and Pollard just run into each other. It just amazes me. I just amazes me how we can go up and down the field so easily between the 20s, and then once we get into the side of 20, we can't do anything. I can't explain it. I don't know what it is, why we can't execute when we're in there. It just seems to happen every time. It's just weird. It's a weird thing. It's got to be on the players. The players have to play better when they get down there. Because I like I said, I think the play call, we call in the right plays because guys are open. We see the opportunities, and they just don't execute the plays and get in there. Can't seem to punch it in. I just don't know why. I can't really explain. The players just got to do it. They just got to take it upon themselves to really do it. But for the rushing attack, there was a bunch of players who got the ball. We had like 8 different rushers, which was crazy to me. You see that, so that's why I say I really like the play calling, because they're really getting the ball to a bunch of different players on offense, really trying to use all the weapons. Turpin had a huge run, even though he fumbled, but he had a big run. Like seeing the way they can use him like that. But one play calling thing I will criticize: stop putting Deuce Vaughn in pass protection. What the hell are you thinking, putting this 5'5" guy in pass protection? You're getting Dak killed. Like every time, it's such a freaking obvious tell. You're passing the ball, and you're gonna put this small ass guy in pass protection. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're getting this man killed. He's not, even if he does pick up the blitz, he's gonna get ran over, and Dak's gonna get killed. Like, it just makes no sense. It just makes no sense. Why would you do that? Why would you do that, Dak? I just don't get it.
Kill. Oh, the picture, Mike McCarthy in the meeting with Brian Schottenheimer. Guys, I have a great idea. What up, Mike? What's your idea? In pass protection, let's have the guy who's 5'5" block. You know what, guys? Just as innovative as making my center my running back. The 5'5" guy is pass protecting. He's an idiot. Like, they're just okay. Like Mike McCarthy, he always has these moments where I'm like, do you have a brain? Do you have a brain? I don't understand. Like, do you have a brain? Because like I always bring up like the running back is the center thing, but I'm like, you're Mike McCarthy and you're seeing this formation be trotted out there and you allow it to happen. And you know you're gonna fire this dude. Why didn't you call timeout and like reset? Like who in their right mind's like, you know what, guys, on passing downs, let's have the guy who looks like a seventh grader in there to block that guy.
I just don't know why. It's like I said, it's an obvious tell. It's like telling the defense, hey, just send everybody. And just send everybody, and we're gonna get home because we're gonna just run over this dude, and we're gonna get attacked. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I don't get it. I don't understand.
And I have been more animated. You haven't seen some of our earlier episodes where I've been very, very animated.
Yeah, I've caused it. I'm like, poke. Just call Troy Aikman overrated. You'll see an animated Caleb. You'll see it. He's overrated. But I digress. But now let's preview. That was a great win. Historical bad loss by Bill Belichick. So there's that. Michael Parsons, there's an article out actually. This is more of a Cowboys Giants connection before we start previewing, where someone asked, is Michael Parsons the next LT? No, that's the answer, because LT is the one and the only. But it was an article. It had some quotes from Carl Banks. Carl Banks, very respected. I highly respect his opinion. So there's that. But Caleb, the biased Cowboys fan. Did you read the article by Ralph Vaccaro? Did you read it?
Not.
Okay. Yeah. When Michael Parsons single-handedly beats an NFL team, then you can call me. All right. There's that. And when he has a couple of them rings to his name.
That's true. We do need to get rings.
Yeah, then you can call me.
I believe that is an important part of it. I mean, if he does, help us get those rings, maybe you can say that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Hendo saying 101. That's I kind of feel the same. No, I mean, when you just speak of the
but that happens every year, right, Caleb?
Even I think Lawrence Taylor.
It was this thing about Lawrence Taylor, man. He changed the way you had to defend or like block. Like Joe Gibbs was like, I'm going to face this dude twice a year for the next 10 years. I need a way to stop him. So I'm going to create the H-back. The H-back was basically like a tight end who masqueraded as a fullback. Was like, you're just going to guard him. You're going to chip him. You're going to do everything. Ron Jaworski's worst nightmare. I bet you he wakes up in cold sweats seeing 56 running after him. You know what I mean? Same thing with Joe Theismann. Every year, a new defensive player comes around and they're great. And every year they compare him to LT. They did this with TJ Watt. They did this with JJ Watt. They're doing this with Michael Parsons. Phenomenal players. I think they're great players. They're great players. But LT is a little different because LT, the one thing I think Michael Parsons kind of lacks, Kelvin, I think you can kind of come agree with me. If you don't, that's fine. Is when he stopped covering. He's not really a coverage guy anymore. He's a defensive lineman now.
It's just what he's asked to do. I mean, he can cover. I mean, he's shown that he can cover. He's batted multiple balls down. I've seen him in coverage. He plays well in coverage, honestly.
But do you think his tools are lacking when he's off ball?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
They just don't ask him to really do that.
Well, they did the first year, then he didn't like it.
They did. I don't think he didn't like it. I think he just wanted the sacks because he knows how he can get paid is by getting a lot of sacks.
That is also true. That's true. But I think we both agree LT is 1 in a million. You know, Carl Banks had great quotes.
But I also think of that Michael Parsons. I mean, nobody has the speed, athleticism, and strength that Mike Parsons had. I mean, I've never seen it. I've never seen what Mike Parsons can do on anybody else. Like
I have.
Who's that?
There's a dude in Houston, and he used to do that all the time.
Yeah, but he was not as fast as Michael Parsons.
JJ Watt was pretty fast off the offensive line, off the defensive line.
He was not
pretty fast.
He was not even
Pretty
close
fast.
to as fast as Michael Parsons is.
How about TJ Watt?
No, he's not. Nobody has the same speed.
Julius Peppers?
That Michael Parsons does.
Julius Peppers? Really?
No.
All right. Okay. I think you're being.
I'm not saying he's as great.
I'll let it go because
he showed over years. I'm just talking about his attributes. I've never seen it.
I'm pretty sure Julius Peppers' attributes are he's pretty fast. I just point that out. But brother, 90 with the Panthers is pretty fast, Caleb. It's like Julius Peppers, man.
That's fine.
It's Julius Peppers.
That's
all right.
fine.
Fine.
That's
you know
fine.
what? We can agree to disagree.
Michael Parsons.
You're right. We can agree to disagree. Now let's preview the game of the week. Actually, Sunday Night Football game of the week. Cowboys, Niners, a rivalry reignited. A rematch of last year's divisional playoff game where the running back was the center. I'm sorry. I still can't get that out of my mind. You're so stupid. You're so stupid.
He's not here anymore.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. Brock Purdy's coming in. Brian Schottenheimer. There's a little difference between the two teams. I think this is going to be a defensive slugfest. My own personal opinion. The defense is going to be the key for both teams. I think it's the playoff game. People think that playoff game was a high scoring affair. Nah, man, it was pretty low scoring. It's pretty low. I think it was like, let me double check. I don't want to say the score.
12-19.
Was 12-19? Damn, I thought it was I thought it was 21-12, but 12-19. Yeah, see?
No, that was
defensive slugfest.
12-19. The other one was like 21. I forget the other one, but it was low scoring too.
Yeah, I think the key is the which offense stays on the field longer and has good field position and gets points when they're in the red zone. Because the defense are going to show up and show out. Nick Bosa, Oriel Burks.
You just hate the Cowboys, so I mean, of course you're going to say that. Like, you always hate the Cowboys. Like, you never pick us. Like, you always trash talk us. So it's like, what's new? What's new?
Well, you know what? Get over it. All right, you're a Cowboys fan. You should be knowing this for your entire life. You should know this. All right, Caleb. I'm not gonna say you're gonna say the Cowboys are gonna win. That's no duh.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you why I believe it.
How? Yeah, exactly. How do you think they will pull out a victory? How? If they do these things, they get the victory.
I think a major factor is our mentality going into this game. Mm-hmm. We're tired of getting bullied by them. I mean, you heard it from Dak himself at the press conference. You know, the reporter was asking that question. He says, "Oh, you trying to piss me off?" And I just don't feel like he's just pissed off. Yeah.
Tony said, "I picked you all. I lost my title because you couldn't beat Drew Lock in Denver." Oh,
see. So he's just mad. He's just picking us to spite us just because he lost.
You scorned him.
Come on.
You're a scorned lover. He's a scorned lover, Caleb. He's a scorned lover. But continue. Pissed off Dak Prescott. Hit me.
Yeah, and I just don't think he's the only one that's pissed off. I think that whole team is pissed off. The whole organization is pissed off. I mean, we got beat. We got bullied in 2 goddamn games. Back seasons. And I think that's a big factor going into this game. We're tired of it. We're gonna come in there. We're not gonna sit there and get bullied again. We're gonna go bully them, and that going into that game, I think that's gonna be a major factor. The revenge factor we know what this game means.
He also says, "I really just do it to see Caleb get hype."
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. Sometimes I do that too. Sometimes I do that too. Okay.
We know what this game means. Like, we even said it. They even said it. I think Mike McCarthy said, no, everybody has said it, that we don't see, the whole coach speak of saying this is just another game. He said, no, this is not just another game. We know what they did to us, and we're not trying to have that happen again.
Caleb, I got a question, man. Why don't coaches do that? Coach speaking, no, this game is different. This is not a regular game.
That's what McCarthy said. McCarthy said this game is different. We know what the 49ers. Jerry Jones said that the 49ers are the favorites go to the Super Bowl. So we know what this game means to us. That's why I feel like we're gonna do everything, absolutely everything we can to get this win. And I don't fear their offense. I don't care if McCaffrey is, some MVP candidate. I don't fear him because we held McCaffrey specifically to 35 yards rushing and 22 yards receiving. He did not have a good day against us the last time we played him. I don't think our defense is great enough to stop him. And we've shown we can stop teams all season and last season, and we're going to do it again in this game as well. We're going to stop that offense. Brock Purdy didn't have a good day either. He only threw for 214 and 0 touchdowns. So I don't think they can really do anything against our defense. Our defense, because it's in the game, it was our offense that lost us that game. But I think it's going to be different this time because we've seen it as a different coordinator. We have a different kind of play style. We're doing a lot of different things to get the ball at Dak's hands, a lot of short passes, a lot of get things to keep time of possession, to keep their offense off the field, and keep our offense rolling. I think that's a major difference in going in this game that we didn't have last game. Better play calling, like I said, in between the 20s. Now, yes, our red zone is going to be a problem going into this game. But I think as long as we just score, even if it is just field goals, as long as we're just scoring every single drive, I think we'll score enough points to outscore them. Because obviously we've seen they only scored 19 last time. So I think as long as we're scoring every single time we get down there, whether it's a field goal or not, or a touchdown, then I think that'd be enough to get this win. And yeah, like I said, I think we can do that. I think we can push it. We've shown we can push the ball down the field in these first 4 games. So I don't think it's going to really be a problem for us in this game. And we're going to, like I said, I don't really fear their offense against our defense because I think Dan Quinn knows Kyle Shanahan. They coach together. He knows their offense. So I think that's how we get the win.
All right. Perfect, man. Perfect. Yeah, like I said, defensive slugfest. I think it's whoever's offense doesn't make the catastrophic mistake.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference this year too, because you've seen that Dak Prescott had the mistakes, interceptions. He's shown that he's taking the care of the ball this time. We've shown that we ourselves can turn over the ball like crazy. We've led the league in turnovers for the past 2 years, and I think we can get a couple turnovers here, and that'd be the difference in the game.
Mm-hmm. And I think also too, your guys is, losing Trevon Diggs was going to be a big issue because they have Deebo Samuel, but the thing is now Deron Bland is evolving and burgeoning as your number 1 corner, and then you have Stephon Gilmore still. So you have, but then here's the thing too, like linebacker. This is the key, because if you take Deebo Samuel out the game, either Stephon or Deron Bland is on him, perfectly fine. George Kittle, they're just sometimes
that's the one concern I had, because he obviously made the one play that killed us in the last year's game. That's the one guy we got to get someone on him. We got to prevent him from doing that to us again. So yeah, that's one player that really concerned me is George Kittle. Well,
here's the thing, Caleb. Are you guys going to use not having Diggs as a cop out? Not having Diggs is not a problem, right? Because of Deron Bland.
No, it's not a problem. We have Deron Bland. Like I said,
Bland. You heard it here. Hey, you heard it here, just as well as he was. You heard it here, Jay. We're not using not having Diggs as a cop out. If the Cowboys lose, they lost because they're lesser than the Niners.
We're just not as good.
Not as good. All right, there it is. Put that on the record. Yeah, I think George Kittle is the issue. I think the biggest key is Leighton Vander Esch or whatever safety you have on him. He's the key.
Yeah,
they're just sometimes
probably Jaron Curse.
Probably Curse.
I would assume it's Curse.
So the thing is, sometimes Kittle is quiet, and then 40-yard reception. 40-yard reception. Like that's the key. That's the thing, because sometimes that's what happens with Brock Purdy. Quiet, 40-yard reception, and now they're in the red zone, and you're like, oh snap, what just happened? You know what I mean? And I think Brock Purdy hasn't done the catastrophic mistake yet. He hasn't, in my opinion, because he's been undefeated.
The defense to force him to.
That
With
is
one
true.
defense that can force them.
Yeah, but I think they have a stable of running backs to keep it balanced. Is your running the key is your run defense is it to the point where it can consistently stop the run? That's the key.
We had a good plan last year. So I believe, like I said, they didn't really run with McCaffrey that much. So I think if we do this, stick with the same kind of scheme that we had against them, I don't think running is really going to be a problem.
Okay. All right. Prediction, Caleb. Score. What do we got?
I got it a little bit weird score, like still low scoring, 22, a lot of field goals to 16.
All right, 22-16. I'm going to go Niners, 21-17. 21-17 Niners. Because it's at the Niners. That's the key. It's a road game.
At the Niners.
So that if it was in Dallas, I probably would go Cowboys. Probably. But due to the fact that it's Santa Clara, not San Francisco. By the way, yeah, Caleb, I was right. It's like an hour and a half without traffic, 2 hours with traffic from San Francisco. Like it's pretty far. I realized that. Yeah, so 21-17 Niners. Tony's just trolling you. Tony score.
Yeah.
32-18
San
San Francisco.
Yeah, that's just
all right.
Equal score.
All right. Now let's move on to the Giants. They're against the Miami Dolphins. Here's the key to victory, Caleb. The key to victory.
There's a key? What key?
Yeah, there's a key. There's a key. There's a key. I found this key.
You find it on the
Pray
map?
to God. You pray to God. That's the key. You pray to God. There it is, right there. That's for the Giants. You pray to God. Because honestly, it's gotten to the point where our Giants fans are they rooting for losses? Are they rooting for a top 5 pick?
Like
you don't have we've gone to that part of this.
It's just gonna happen.
Yeah, because Tony, he says this 50-10. He says this, but that's a realistic score. That's a realistic score because they dropped 70 on the Broncos. Okay.
Yeah.
I know they had a bad week against Buffalo.
The Broncos do have like the worst defense in the NFL.
That's true. And you pray to God, man. You pray to God. Just hand on your knees and be like, hey, pray to God. You know? Shout out your pops, 28-14 Niners. Shout out to them. Adelia, thanks for the reminder, Ferris. Adelia, at least you're not a Giants fan. Okay. All right.
I mean, it's pretty similar situations there.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Giants are not much better. That's true. Earlier, there's my brother was here. He's a Niners fan. So he said the Seahawks were frauds. It is what it is. We're coming for the Cowgirls. You know, basic trash talk, all that. But yeah, Jay. You know, you're just hand on your knees. You're like, dear God, stop the suffering. Stop the suffering. Dearly beloved, I'm begging you, stop doing this to me. You're giving me your toughest battles. I'm done. Please just give me a calm Sunday where I can just chill. But you know what's crazy, Caleb? You know what's fucking stupid about the NFL? Watch the Giants win this week, and I'm going to shoot myself, man. I swear to God.
Is Barkley still out, right?
Yeah, he's questionable. But what's the point? Here's the key. Here's the thing, Caleb. Players don't tank. Coaches don't tank, okay? Coaches don't tank. Players don't tank. Organizations tank. Do you think Joe Shane rolled up to Brian Daboll and says, hey, well, you need to lose all these games, dog? Like, I want Caleb Williams, okay? I want Caleb Williams. Either you, because if I get Caleb Williams, the decision of giving him a contract doesn't look, we can survive it and not get fired. Okay? You know? Because if he is this bad and this team is this bad and we get the number 1 pick overall, because I think the Panthers and the Bears are going to win at least 2 or 3 games each. And if we only win one game, we can save ourselves. You know? Do you think he's having these conversations? Or is he not having these conversations? There's been speculations and reports where it's like Joe Shane was negotiating with Daniel Jones, and he was being hard pressed and kind of going at and like hard line thing. And there's a rumor. I'm not saying it's real. People think it's speculation. I don't know, where John Mara showed up and said, give him the contract and let's go, you know? Or did Joe Shane want to do the Tyrod Taylor thing and be like, yeah, you can get out of here. We don't need you. I'm sorry. But that's the key. Do you think Joe Shane is having these conversations with his team and said, hey, man, number 1 pick. We're 4-1. A quarter of the season's already been played. Number 1 pick. Okay.
I mean, doesn't that suck? You're talking about number 1 pick after just a quarter of the season.
People were saying number 1 pick after the first game for freaking Houston or Miami. I mean, Houston and Chicago. But that's the thing. Are they having these discussions? Because the NFL, it comes at you fast. A quarter's already gone. You only got 1 win. The team is depleted. There's no hope. The offensive line doesn't care. Nobody cares. Bad tackling. Your head coach is throwing an iPad at your quarterback because he's disgusted by him. There's a time where he's yelling at him as there's this report where he's yelling at him as he's coming off the sideline, and Daniel Jones just turns his head away and just keeps walking away. Imagine someone doing that to Bill Parcells, where they're walking off. Imagine Phil Simms walking off the field and Bill Parcells is yelling at him and he does this and just keeps walking away. Someone's getting chewed out. Someone's getting yelled at, you know? Are they having these discussions? Are they having these are actual discussions to have? Are they having these discussions? That's something. It's not like out of the norm or out of the ordinary. But they're not beating Miami. Last week, what did I tell them? What did I tell you, Caleb? Seahawks gonna win, right? And what did the Seahawks do? They won.
Yeah.
Miami's gonna win. I'm gonna go. So the defense is gonna be on the field a lot. So they're unfortunately going to have 30 dropped on them because they're going to be on the field too much. So I'm going to go 32-14. There's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 70-0.
I want to fight you on that score, but that's a realistic score if you think about it. That's a realistic score. With this Miami team, that's a realistic score. But yeah, that's it. Everyone, thank you guys so much for joining.
Does a win bring back a glimmer of hope for the season?
Sure, I guess. Sure. Whatever. There's no glimmer and hope in these eyes. Hey, no, it's not. Ain't no hope.
Not even a twinkle. Not a twinkle.
No twinkle. No glimmer. No twinkle. No glimpse. No nothing. It's done, bro. We're done. All right, y'all. Thank you all so much for joining us. This special 4 p.m. show this week. Every week, Friday, 3:00 Pacific, most of the times. Pre-recorded or live. Me and Caleb are talking NFC East. Hit your dad, 44-0.
Yeah.
Your dad from 2 weeks ago. Guys, let's take it easy on Ferris. He's going through a lot. To this week, 44-0.
He's being honest. I mean,
you know what? I respect it, Leo. You know what? You're probably more right than that 70-0. Both scores are realistic. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, but at least give me one touchdown. Can I at least get a 7? Can it be
Not
44
with that
7?
offense. Not with that offense. Hell no.
God, we can't get one touchdown. Like, you can't gift me one
No.
touchdown.
How? The defense gonna score it. The special team's gonna score it. Your special
That
team
special teams is horrible,
way.
dude. They are trash. Dude, Eric Gray should be thinking this like, why did they draft Eric Gray? He can't, Saquon's out. He's not the running back. You can't field punts. What's the point? Like, I don't get it. What's the point? Tony, 61-2. You know what? Thank you, Tony. Thank you. Give me that. Yeah, I'll take that 2 points. But Caleb, where can people find you, my man?
You can find me at NFL Caleb 22 on Instagram and Twitter /X. You can find me on this channel on Wednesdays nights at 8 o'clock doing betting the NFL. All we do on that channel is make you guys money. So if you like making money, please tune in for that show. I mean, I've been on a hot streak. I've had all but one winning week. So yeah, I've been hot this season, hitting that 60% rate. And if you know betting, that is fantastic for if even professional bettors struggle to hit that. So I'm doing well. So if you want to make money, go tune in for that show. And I'm just gonna sit there, hand you picks, hand you money, because that is the goal of the show.
Job, my name is Ferris Muthana. Find me here every Friday. 3 o'clock Pacific. Good friends, wherever else, talking about the New York Giants, I guess. And then every Friday, 8 o'clock Pacific on our entertainment channel, me and Adelia do the open table. The past 2 weeks, we kind of had to go. Adelia's sick, so we didn't have a show for the past 2 weeks. So that's why we haven't showed up. Hope she's feeling a little bit better this time around. Follow me on Instagram at _Ferris_Muthana. Every Wednesdays, 9 o'clock Pacific, 12 o'clock Eastern, which is midnight, on KSFS Radio. It's your boy Ferris Muthana, where I'm talking a list of topics, a list of whatevers. So there's that on the radio. But without that, yep.
Well, hold on. I want to answer his question real quick. The biggest, I don't have them to win. I just have them to cover. I got the Rams +4 against the Eagles. That is my biggest cover. Not saying they're gonna win, but they're at least gonna cover. Outright win. Probably think the Cardinals +3 can get an outright win over the Bengals.
Yeah, sometimes picking the underdog isn't picking him to win; it's just picking him to cover. So there's that. I remember once when the Broncos were against the Jaguars. It was one year, and the line was like 21. You're like, whoa, 21. The Jaguars lost the game, but they covered because they lost 21-18 or something like that. So, if you got money on that one. So there's that. But all right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you guys next time. Oh, before we go, guys, in about an hour on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/LGR_network. It is LGRN After Snark. It's a special Friday episode. Danny and Snark are going live. They're going to be talking about the new Star Wars game coming out. So make sure to flip over to our Twitch channel at 6 o'clock Pacific to listen to a special Friday episode of LGRN After Snark. Thank you guys so much. All right, guys, without further ado, have a wonderful night, and we'll see you guys next week. Let's just hope someone here is at least happy. I'm talking about you, Caleb.